Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate effective pauses. They're part of the list of active listening techniques that you'll see in the captions. And effective pauses are really important for clients that are flooded with emotion or that tend to talk really fast and kind of get lost in their own wheelhouse of repeated thought patterns, and they kind of block you out. Like they're not listening to you, they're not looking at you, they're not looking for you to have any kind of response to them, and you start to feel like maybe I'm not doing anything except sitting and watching this person reinforce their own negative thought patterns. So what you want to do is sort of interrupt their thoughts in a gentle way, and the best way to do that is to give some kind of visual signal. So in this case, I'm going to raise my hand. I'm on a Zoom call, so I'm not in the room with this person, but I'm going to raise my hand, and they're going to notice it, and they're going to stop, and it's going to cause them to take notice of me, because they're pretty much leaving me out of the conversation entirely while they reinforce their own thought patterns in front of me. Okay, so we've been talking. This is my daughter, Kimmy, but she's play acting my client, and my client has been talking for a long time about all of the different work situations that she has been in her life that were terrible, and she hated them, and now she's in her present work situation. She's talking to me about that, and this has been going on for a long time. So I want to start weighing in and challenging her and helping shape her thoughts. Watch me use a visual signal to try to get that to happen. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so like the other day at work, I was just like minding my own business and doing my job, and Kathy comes up to me and she says, "You can't wear essential oils at work anymore." And I just thought that was ridiculous, because we literally sell essential oils at my job. She said somebody called in and complained and said it was such an offensive odor. And I was like, I smell delicious. This is wonderful. And it's just like a really abusive environment, because on top of that, when I was going to get somebody their CBD oil, I had to unlock it, and the guy was talking down to me like an idiot. And he was like, "What, do you not know your job?" And then on top of that, the management, when he went to complain, the management calmed his entire order, and they didn't care about me. They just said, "Well, suck it up, Buttercup, because it's just whatever, tough luck." And it's like they didn't care about me as an employee, and they cared more about the customers who are actually. So it's like, I can't wear perfume. I can't.
Okay.
Work.
Hi, are you there? All right, so I just want to say something here. You've been talking for quite a while about the struggles you've had at work, and I'm just curious. You've been talking for about half an hour about the different workplace situations, and I appreciate the fact that you need to sort of process that, and I hear you. It's difficult to have crummy jobs with unkind people. I'm just wondering something.
Yeah.
Have there been any work situations that you enjoyed?
No. Oh, well, actually, when I was a nanny, I nannied this really lovely baby, and every day going to work was just a joy. I would go to work, and I would literally get to play with this joyful little child and help her grow into a beautiful little kid.
That is great. All right, so notice that her tone completely changed when I kind of redirected her thoughts into something that she was grateful for, something that was more positive. Sometimes what you need to do if someone is really overwhelmed with negative thoughts in a session is just kind of interrupt them and get them to mention something they're grateful for, something that didn't follow, the typical trend of everything going wrong, something that they're thankful for. Sometimes I just ask my clients, what are you grateful for? Tell me 3 things you're grateful for, and that helps redirect their thoughts. Okay, so that's one scenario. This second scenario I want to look at, and the listening technique that goes along with it, is a client that is extremely slow of speech. So instead of being flooded and extremely verbal and kind of lost in their own wheelhouse of their own existing thought patterns, they're completely shy, completely frightened of sharing their true thoughts. And I have to engage in what are called minimal encouragers, just little sounds that you make that help them keep talking. So, Kimmy, be a very shy person and a very quiet person and share some of the same things, but do it very slowly and hesitantly. And I'll show them what minimal encouragers look like.
So yeah, I was at work and it was just a tough day.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on and
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
hard to it's hard to explain. I don't quite know how to express
Yeah.
how, my job makes me
Mm.
feel. I know that it's not the safest, most comfortable place for me.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, good. So you saw what I was doing there. I was just making little sounds, affirming, oh wow, things like that that keep her talking. So just to recap quickly here, I showed you two listening techniques that are kind of present in opposite situations. One is the person is talking so loud and so fast that you need to cut into their thoughts. And that would be called, that would call for effective pauses where you want to get the conversation to slow down a little bit and sort of redirect the person's thoughts. So the way I showed you of breaking into the person's thoughts is holding my hand up. That's a visual signal. Now, if you're on a phone call, and you happen to be having a phone coaching session, you can't do that because they can't see you. So here's another option. This is kind of weird. But if the person's talking really fast and really excitedly and they're just rambling on and on and on, and you want to get a word in edgewise, but they're not letting you, they're not really listening to you, you keep trying to say something and they're not hearing you, and you really can't match their energy because they're completely off the wall, high energy. What you can do, I know this is weird, but you can go up, 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 and that like matches their verbal energy so that then they'll stop and then they'll listen. I've done this with people, it actually works.
You've done it with me. Up, 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 up. Oh, I know that one.
Oh, you know that one. Okay. So that's effective pauses. And then minimal encouragers we showed you, which usually aren't necessary with Kimmy because she's a good talker. But minimal encouragers are something that you use when people are talking very slow and very hesitant to share. You're going to go ahead and use sounds like, oh, wow, like that to kind of keep them talking. Let them know that you're following and tracking with them. Okay, excellent job, Kimmy. We're going to move on to our next technique.